Since the first Kingdom Hearts game, the Destiny Trio of Sora, Riku, and Kairi was defined by not only the strength of their friendship and resolve to find each other, but also by the length of time they stayed apart throughout the series. It's been rare to see the trio fully together after the night that the Destiny Islands fell to darkness. So rare that we really only got a glimpse of their reunions in Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, and Kingdom Hearts 3, which was where they seemed to spend most time back together, at least before the events of the final battles in the Keyblade Graveyard. So with the Destiny Trio separating once again at the beginning of the Lost Master arc, how will their journeys and destinies resolve? Welcome back everyone, this is your girl Empowered Muse, and today we're going to discuss the Destiny Trio and how their destinies may align in the Lost Master arc and possibly beyond. The stories of Sora, Riku, and Kairi's journeys after their separation on the Destiny Islands has been one that allowed us to explore some of their individual character developments over time. And yes, there is a valid argument that we haven't seen as much of Kairi's development as Sora or Riku's, but I do think that Kairi is being set up to have a very solid and important development throughout the Lost Master arc. But outside of us witnessing the trio's individual paths, we got a glimpse of just how their individual growth impacted their bonds as a trio over time, specifically in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance and somewhat in Kingdom Hearts 3. So for the first time, we have a shifting dynamic within the Destiny Trio for the Lost Master arc. Instead of Kairi or Riku being lost or missing or needing to be saved by Sora, the situation has now flipped to where Sora is the one within the trio that needs saving. And this dynamic is a large part of how Kairi could be set up for a more pivotal growth moment that might be compared to what we saw with Riku's moment in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. So Kairi's journey has so far been less involved when it comes to traveling across different worlds and interacting with the other Disney or original characters of that world. However, just because Kairi hasn't been as well traveled as Sora or Riku doesn't mean that her involvement throughout the Dark Seeker saga hasn't been pivotal. Kairi being revealed to be a Princess of Heart in Kingdom Hearts 1 in a way defined just how important she could be to the overall story. In fact, we see this as early as Kingdom Hearts 1 when she was the one to bring Sora back from darkness after he sacrificed himself in order to unlock Kairi's heart and return it to her. And it was also Kairi who pointed out Riku to Sora through their connection when Riku was disguised as Ansem, Seeker of Darkness in Kingdom Hearts 2. Kairi's letter also led the way for Sora and Riku to return home at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 by being the light that shone in the realm of darkness, a power that seems pretty reflective of Naminé's own powers as Kairi's nobody. And even in Kingdom Hearts 3, Kairi not only joins the final battle in the Keyblade Graveyard as a Keyblade wielder in her own right, but she also seemed to somehow keep Sora from fading and being one of the most pivotal connections that brought back the Guardians of Light when they were struck down by the Demon Tide. Kairi's memories also seem to be tied fairly strongly to Sora, as we see in Melody of Memory, when Sora seems to take over for Kairi and lend her his strength when she fought Xehanort in the final world. So we're already seeing Kairi as this sort of guiding light throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, and this might be just how she exhibited her powers as a Princess of Heart. But now that Kairi is training to become physically stronger and more skilled as a Keyblade wielder, it will be interesting to see just how this could affect her overall destiny in this next arc. I think that with her training and this power of pure light, Kairi could be a solution, if not one of the more important solutions, to bringing Sora home and perhaps even the bigger conflicts in the Lost Master arc. Not to mention, we still don't know much about Kairi's lineage, and that alone could prove to be an important development for the Kingdom Hearts series going forward. Perhaps she was a potential descendant of a Keyblade wielder that was in the Society of Successors during the lost era of Missing Link, or perhaps even a descendant of one of the founders. Either of these possibilities could point to why Kairi's latent powers seem to manifest as a sort of guiding light. So while it seems like Kairi's journey is just the beginning in the Lost Master arc, I think that she's been on her destined path for a while. That said, I'm sure we'll get a lot more of her own motives and development as a Keyblade wielder in this next arc. With Riku's arc, it's been made pretty clear that he's had one of the more in-depth and frankly rewarding character arcs in the Kingdom Hearts series so far. From his decision to open himself up to the darkness to redeeming himself not only with helping Sora and even saving him, but becoming a full-fledged Keyblade master in his own right, Riku's journey seems to be the most well-rounded journey of the Destiny Trio. So I actually wasn't too surprised that some people actually thought that Riku's seemingly toned-down narrative in Kingdom Hearts 3 indicated that his arc was at a sunset point. Although I don't think that's the case at all. And while Riku's journey as a Keyblade wielder has been quite a full one throughout the Dark Seeker saga, his journey as it relates to his connections with Sora and Kairi don't seem to be as fleshed out, albeit still pretty solid. But with the Lost Master arc, I think Riku's next journey will take him to realizing not only the implications of his duty as a protector to those who matter most, but also the challenges and expectations that might come with being a Keyblade Master and what it could mean for those who might look up to him now. And so I'm not really going to dive into Riku's past journeys in the Dark Seeker saga. It's one that's been fully covered and fleshed out both in the game and among us as fans and Kingdom Hearts creators. But I did want to take a deeper look at what Riku's destined role might be in the Kingdom Hearts story. So I already touched on this, but because we see Riku's desire is to have the strength to protect those closest to him from a young age, it makes sense that over time we see Riku becoming more and more of the guardian in the trio. Specifically, while Riku's desires seemed more so to protect Kairi in the first Kingdom Hearts game, we kind of see over time that his desire to protect Sora becomes more prevalent. He even specifically lays this out when confronting Ansem, Seeker of Darkness in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And maybe this might be due to Sora himself vowing to protect Kairi and Riku charging Sora with that duty at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, but since that moment, Riku seemed to have assumed the role of Sora's protector. Most of the time more covertly than overtly, but we're seeing his role as a guardian come up time and time again. We can even say that while Kairi seems to be more of a guiding light for Sora, Riku might be a light that shields and protects Sora, which was kind of illustrated in the Keyblade Graveyard when Riku stepped in front of Sora to take on the Demon Tide attack. So it's really no surprise that Riku's the first one to go after Sora once it's revealed that Sora may be in Quadratum. I'm pretty sure we'll see Riku assume the role of Guardian once again in the Lost Master arc, but I think this will also open up the opportunity for Riku to go through his own insecurities when it comes to shouldering a little bit more responsibility and perhaps having larger stakes in rescuing Sora. Because a lot of Riku's battles have been shown to be internal, I think we'll see more of the same in the next arc. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit more of Riku stepping comfortably into a more present leadership or guardian type of role, especially when you consider how his destined path might reflect that of Yozora, since they look a bit more alike than Yozora and Sora. Not that there isn't an interesting mirror dynamic to explore between Yozora and Sora, but it seems that Yozora seems to look more like Riku for a reason. But I think for Riku, his journey in the Lost Master arc is one where he himself may face a sense of being lost internally, specifically as he's facing new expectations. That said, his destiny revolving around him embracing his role as a guardian will more than likely play into some important moments in this next arc. So because Sora is obviously the main character of the series, his journey and arc is the one we tend to be most familiar with. However, Sora's current challenge in the Lost Master arc is one that could take the series in a direction that's entirely different from what we're used to seeing. Sora, now being the one who is completely isolated and is facing the consequences of his actions at a larger scale, is sure to introduce a major turn for his character's development. Because Sora is not only facing the dangers and consequences of abusing the power of waking, but he has to face this completely alone in a realm in which he knows no one, at least at first. Sora has consistently been the one to rescue different worlds and people through his strength as a Keyblade wielder, and while we have seen Sora struggle and need intervention from Donald and Goofy or Riku and Mickey, this time Sora's in a spot where he's a lot more vulnerable and might not be recovered as easily as before. So what we might see is Sora's current situation of winding up in a strange place like Quadratum with no one around, weighing on him more than usual. Especially because this time around, his circumstance is a direct result of his actions, as opposed to when the trio first separated on the Destiny Islands, and he ended up being randomly cast to Traverse Town. So this for sure isn't Sora's first time being alone, but there's a chance that he'll feel a greater sense of loneliness or regret. And this will be an interesting turn for Sora's destiny because this problem he's now facing in the Lost Master arc might be one that defines his future. We're kind of used to seeing Sora struggle or even feel frustrated, lonely, or even hopeless at times. But I think what will be different this time around is whether the events that take place in the Lost Master arc set Sora on a more complicated path where he'll have a very real struggle with darkness and negative emotions. And if that does happen, what choices will he make to either rectify the situation or alleviate his pain? Sora's role has clearly been that of a main hero, and while I think it might be unlikely that the Lost Master arc sets him up to turn into a villain, I do think that his desires and path begin to become complicated and murky. Sora tends to be pretty selfless, at least outwardly, but there is the question of whether Sora will struggle with his more selfish desires, and not necessarily desires involving power, but more so desires to not be alone or to not lose his friends. So I think this could be the opportunity that Sora's emotional struggles are what will make him more vulnerable to darkness in this next arc. So where exactly would this place Sora as far as his destined role? I think that if we go back over what all Sora has done in the Kingdom Hearts series so far, there's no denying that Sora is of light in some way. However, it does seem that Kairi and Riku's relationships to light is a bit more defined in the sense that we've seen Kairi act as a guiding light, and we've seen Riku step into being that guardian. But as far as Sora, the destiny that we thought he'd have doesn't seem as clear-cut right now. I think how these three characters' destinies converge heavily depend on how the Lost Master arc is resolved. Before the events that resulted in Sora being cast to Quadratum, I think it was safe to assume that Sora can be viewed as a vehicle of light or even on his way to become Light's master. However, whether that will still hold true during the Lost Master arc remains to be seen. And it could be the case that Sora's destiny is actually split. Perhaps in one timeline or outcome, he does continue on the destined path to become Light's master, and Kairi and Riku's destinies neatly converge to Sora's path, while in an alternate timeline or outcome, Sora might suffer a fall from grace, and while Riku and Kairi's destined paths could remain untouched, they may each have to either play a much larger role to save Sora up to possibly sacrificing themselves, or their own destinies might actually be affected. Seeing Sora, Riku, and Kairi's destinies intersecting in the Lost Master arc as a part of their development arc is something that will be exciting to see unfold. While we tend to have our favorite trios that form throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, I do believe that the Destiny Trio is the foundation of the others' developments over time. So much so that I think the intersection of Sora, Riku, and Kairi's destined paths will define the series end, much like their separation and the start of their individual journeys define the series' beginnings. But I want to hear from you, so let me know what you think about the Destiny Trio's future in the comments below. If you want to explore some more Kingdom Hearts theories, I'll be linking another Kingdom Hearts theory video here in the end screen. And as always, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this video and want to watch more Kingdom Hearts content. And if there's anyone who may have questions about what to expect for the upcoming Kingdom Hearts games, be sure to share this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.